Welcome to CS 133 Columbia Gorge Community College, the Dalles, Oregon, Mrs. Hughitt instructor. We are moving on to the next week already. We're into PowerPoint 2, which is going to be in week 7. And again, it doesn't matter which version of the shell you're using in Moodle, whether it's the orange or the blue, they're basically exactly the same, other than how the face-to-face or lack of face-to-face is structured. So we're moving down to week 7. And you're going to be doing PowerPoint 2. You're going to be doing, of course, the application project as well for PowerPoint 2. You have an external devices lesson to do, your journal, and your forum. So as you head into week 7, you're going to have, again, the resources up here. You're going to have, and I'm combining some of these units around a little bit, so you'll have the instructional materials to look at here, which will include your unit goals, your video, PowerPoint Chapter 2 updates, important to read, because unfortunately this is another one where there are some issues with some of the Microsoft directions. Then you kind of your summary overview and your checklist, your external device PowerPoint to watch and listen to, and then your download. Now this is your actual template. So you download it, you don't open PowerPoint, you download it and open it. And that will give you the template to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, I hope, as long as the internet cooperates. And once it gets downloaded and we have it available to us, then we open it, and we're going to use it to allow us to create this background that I'm going to show you now. It's going to be this pattern here that we need to have, and you're not going to find it in your actual PowerPoint. Unfortunately, Microsoft stole it and it's gone. So you're going to go in here, you're going to follow these directions, you're going to add whatever it is. Now notice on this, there's not a big white background behind those pictures. You have to remove it. That's one of your directions. Every once in a while I get the picture on top like that with a big white background. Doesn't work. Also, they have you change some of the wording up here. It's not exactly what it started out to be. You have to replace some wording. Again, replacing some wording. Making sure you get the right pictures in, do the right frame on the picture. Put the right animation on. Now, you're going to have to get this blue and purple and tan matching pretty close. But considering those are sort of basic colors, that should be a fairly easy thing to do. You should be able to get that pretty close, size it pretty close, space it pretty close. If you look at it, you can pretty well eyeball how it's supposed to be. So you need to make sure that you have, the white plus, you have the scroll, you have the square, and there's a little gap between them, and there, you just kind of look at the page and you can sort of eyeball how to get that set up. Make sure you have the right style of font at the top. Now this one's a little bit different. You need to think about this one and really follow the steps, because it's actually not a picture on the page. It's actually a picture that's been formatted into and embedded in the background. So if this was live and I grabbed this, I could not slide it like you can slide a picture. And I actually do that to your PowerPoints to make sure that you've embedded it. It's also what's called watermarked. It means it's been faded out. You've adjusted the see-throughness of it to give it a kind of a see-through background look to it. And again, those directions are all in the book if you follow the book's directions. So you need to make sure you do that. There are also supposed to be slide notes and on the slides. You don't see them in this view, but you do see them as you create them. So you make sure you create your slides notes, because I will check for those. And they're on all but the bottom one. Or the first one, I should say. They're at the bottom of all but the first one. So you need to make sure that you're getting it so it looks like that and it has the correct transition. Now let's see if that's been downloaded for us, and it has. So I'm going to get it over here and I'm going to slide it off on my desktop. And then when I open it, which it should do, but it seems to not want to do. Let's see if I right click. Sometimes, see, it says PPXT, or PPOXT. I sometimes could go here and do the open with. I'm not getting that command. I've select a list of programs, so I'm going to have to go OK. I'm going to ask it to open with PowerPoint, and life will be good. Now you may have to go through those same steps, but now you've got that line layout. Now, obviously, you're going to enable editing, and then you're good to go there. You can start putting that together. You'll notice the firemen that we saw earlier aren't here. You have to add that. Obviously, you're going to have to fix this to go with what you need, and you may need to delete some slides. Now, if you're not sure how to delete a slide, it's a right-click, delete slide. Now, on this one, you're going to need that one. When you're going to go do this, you'll notice that that, as I switch, is that same framing. You've just inserted a different picture in it than here. So you're going to have to work with that. And obviously, there's some slides in here you're not going to need, because this was, as I said, a template. But you're going to need to go ahead and use like some of the blank ones and some of those types of things. Now, just so that everybody knows, if I get a slide like this, but I don't want this top, I want it plain, I can go to Layout, and I can transition that to a blank slide. You can always change the format or type of your slide just by clicking on the slide and saying, well, I don't want this to be a bulleted list, I need it to be a... and then I can pick from there what I needed to be a title only, or to content, or blank, or whatever I need. So just know that that's how you can change those. And you may be, like I said, deleting some slides. I would save this, and when I save it, I would save it as save as, and I would give it a new name. Because number one, you don't want to call it title layout. You want to call it something that makes sense for this. Be prepared, or emergency information, or something like that. That way you can always keep the template, and you'll have it for the future if you want to use that template again sometime a year or two down the road, or even next week or month. You'll have that template. I'd start a folder and start sticking templates in it, because these are getting harder and harder to track down, unfortunately. Then don't forget to do... I've got it under control. Thank you, Microsoft, for offering to help. Got to get back to my desktop. There we go. I had to find my Moodle again. Got it buried. Don't forget that you need to take time to look and listen to the external devices, and then you need to come down and do your journal reflection, and you need to do your form, and your form will be discussing external devices. Remember that your journal needs to be 150 words or more, your forum post needs to be 100 words or more, and your reply needs to be at least 50 words or more. If you have any questions, let me know.